Hey guys, what's up? Gary here, back with another review. This time we're going to be talking about the Discover Adapt 30 headset. Discover is a little bit of a newcomer in the space, at least to me they absolutely were. I'm more familiar with Plantronics, now Poly, and Jabra products. But Headset Advisor reached out to me, said that they would like to send me one, get my opinion of it. So there we are. We've got this headset here. Obviously, to me, the most important thing with a review is what is the call quality, what is the comfort level, what are some of those features that are nice to have when you're on the phone all day, and what's the range. So we're going to cover all those, as well as price point. Now, I've been using this as my daily driver for 2 weeks now, plugged in, as you can see, to quite the setup behind me. I spend most of my day on the phone now, so I've gotten a pretty good feel for this headset, and there's some nice things about it, some pros, and then there are definitely some cons to it, and we're going to cover both of those. Now, the first thing we're going to talk about is the audio quality, because that is obviously the most important piece when you're talking about a headset, especially if it's one you're going to wear all day. Now, what you're hearing right now is the audio straight from the headset. It's coming in connected to my Mac through QuickTime, just doing a straight recording. There's no filters, no processing, nothing on it aside from me talking. Now, in practice, I've found the call quality both from being able to hear and what's coming through to the people I'm talking to, because I've asked my team, hey, do you notice anything? And so far the answer has always been, nope, sounds great, crystal clear. So audio-wise, call quality-wise, this gets a double thumbs up because it's doing fantastic. Now, the next thing that I think about when I'm looking for a headset specifically is the comfort and feel, right? The build of it, because if it's going to be on my head all day, I want it to be something that I kind of forget about if I can, or at the very least, it's easy to take off and on, and so forth. So, build quality wise with this.
A couple of pros and cons. The pros, if you will, are that it's very light. This is a headset that when it's on, and if you get it adjusted right so it feels good, you forget that you're wearing it because it is so light. The con that comes along with that is because it is constructed to be so lightweight, it feels a little bit flimsy when you're holding it and using it. Now it's obviously not, because if you look, it's got metal in the band and everything there, but it just feels lighter weight as well as on the head. So it's kind of strange, but that's one of the takeaways I had from it. I also, some other companies do this as well. I personally don't really like that, which is when in the mono version it's got this little thing here, because when you have it on, it looks like you got a thing sticking out of your head. I'm not a huge fan of that. Now, the really cool part, the pro on this is, well, there are a few. One, the boom mic feels nice and solid in the mic itself. The controls here, you've got up, down for volume. You can click it for mute. They're really easy to find and get to, so you never worry about those. And one of the main selling points of this headset in particular, which is interesting, is that you can switch from being a mono headset like I normally wear to a dual headset. And all you have to do is pop this piece out, just like so. Line up the arrows, clip it in, and now you've got a working dual headset. So that's pretty sweet. As far as having customability and options, that's great. Now, one of the cons I found, well, two of the cons I found with the build of this is, one, for my head shape in particular, it's always a little bit of a struggle to find that sweet spot where these cushions, well, they are soft. It's kind of like hard to find that sweet spot where they fit just perfectly on my ear and I forget that I'm wearing it. I can do it, but it takes more adjustment than I would like. And then the second thing is that because the headset is so light and it doesn't really have much gripping the top of your head, if you're like me, I use the boom mic up and down frequently. When I mute, I put it up so I don't forget I'm on mute, and then I slide it back down when I want to talk. If I go to do that now, in the dual, works pretty well. I mean, you feel it, like it rotates and flex. But if you do that in the mono version, which normally I have the mono on, so let me switch back here just for a second. All right, with the mono version on, when you pull this up and down, when you pull it up and down, Pulling it down is fine. Putting it up usually pulls the headset off, so you have to like learn to use fingers to hold it on, and it's a learning moment and experience. So next thing that we should talk about is range. So this is the long distance base station, should have room to go. Let's take it for a walk outside.
Okay guys, we're gonna do our range test now. So obviously I'm holding my GoPro because why not? And I'm going to run outside my house, go check the mail, which is something I do honestly probably more than I should admit on calls. But hey, we all need to get out and move around a little bit. So if you notice, walked through my house. My office is on the back side of the house. The mailbox is, I'd call it a good 150-ish feet, something like that, away with interference. So you'll notice as I'm going, whether the or whether it starts breaking up, I'm going to get over here. Most of the time, but you can be moving. And I'm one of those people that being able to move around. A lot of times I'll even pace around my house just to be active for a moment or keep my body moving as opposed to just sitting there. And there you go. So I should be getting back into range. Typically from the listening side, it does okay. But from the audio side, if I get too far away, it's going to break up and get scratchy, so you kind of have to be aware of that. But if you're just in your house, which let's be honest, that's the main thing, it does great anywhere in my house. I don't have any challenges if I go upstairs or out to the kitchen. It's really only if I go across the street. So let's get back inside and talk about the software.
Or rather, lack thereof of software. So the interesting thing with this Discover Adapt 30 is that there are no drivers that I could find for it. It's just plug and play. Now, I plugged into the Mac, it was recognized, identified itself as a Discover Adapt 30 with both Zoom and Teams, came up right away, was able to select it as both input and output. Great, off we go. So no worries in that part. So that's kind of the pro, right? You don't have to install anything, just plug it in and go. The downside to that is, though, you can't customize a whole lot of this. So one of the things that's definitely in the con list for me is that when you hit the mute button on the headset, one, it's easy to hit, nice, but two, it plays a tone in your ear every 5 seconds, a little beep to let you know that you're on mute. And if you are like me, where you get pulled into all of these meetings, and a lot of the time I'll sit for 15 minutes not needing to talk, but sorry, I'm on mute the whole time, that beeping gets annoying. And I really wish there were a software way to customize it to change the duration in between the beeps, because it's a nice idea to let me know I'm still on mute, but not every 5 seconds. Please give me the option to choose between 5 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, because based on the type of work that you're doing, that 5-second beep, I found myself not going on mute as much, and that meant I had to be far more careful about what I was doing. I couldn't do other things at the same time. So there's that. And then lastly, with the headset, since we've covered the audio quality, we've covered the build quality, we've covered the range, and we've covered a little bit of the software pros and cons, let's talk about price. That's a major factor in a headset decision. And you have to look at price of this compared to the other headsets in the market that are in its same range and still like its competitors. So the ones that I'm looking at are from, again, Poly/Plantronics. They call themselves Poly now, but you know what I mean. Like the Savvy series, specifically like the 82,000. And that's not 82,000, 8,200. And the Jabra Evolve / no, it's the Jabra Engage line. The Evolve is the ones that are Bluetooth and a little connector. The Engage are the ones that actually have the base station in the same range. Now, I haven't tested any Jabra Engage ones. I just look at the price point for it. And where those come in, Jabra starts at around 360 for the model that I would say is kind of comparable. The Plantronics starts at 309, and then this Discover Adapt starts at 299, and then it's usually on sale. I've seen it for $289. So it does win on the price point. It's a little bit less than the others. It has a decent feature set. But where do I come in as a recommendation in all this? I'd say if you are looking for a lightweight headset where lightness is your primary concern, you want to be able to switch from mono to stereo as one of the main deciders, and you want decent range with it, the Discover Adapt is a good choice because it's going to be light. It's going to have the ability to switch from mono to dual, which no other headset currently has. It works really nicely with the call quality, so you're not losing out compared to its competitors on actual quality of audio and sound through it. But if you're looking for some of those more bells and whistles around being able to customize the software with the beeps and tones and some of the other factors that can go into that software piece, you might want to look at one of the other ones. Specifically, in my mind, because I'm always a fan of finding something on a deal, if you can find an older headset for a lesser price, you're probably going to get more bang for your buck. But if you want to compare just straight brand new out of the box retail prices, you're going to find the Discover Adapt is going to be the most affordable. Then you're going to go to Plantronics and then a Jabra. And what I've seen is that you're going to be getting what you pay for in a lot of ways. You're going to get a nice headset with this, but you're not going to get some of the bells and whistles that come with those Plantronics or the Jabras. So if you're looking for those features, step up the budget to accommodate one of those. If you want a straightforward headset, then you can go with the Discover Adapt 30. There you have it, guys. That is my take on the Discover Adapt 30. Thank you again to Headset Advisor for sending me this set to review. If there are any questions or anybody has anything, drop it into the comments, and I will be, well, frankly, I'm on my phone all the time, so more than likely you'll get an answer right away. With that, thank you very much, and we will see you in the next one. Cheers.